but he soon ellipsed them. And now he's advanced. He then the Advanced Communicator Series, Technical Presentations. Project 2, the proposal. This is one of the fun ones. Title, Building Your Personal Brand. Objective. Now listen to these close, and you monitor him in your own image to see how well you think he achieved them. And then tell him in his little note when you get through. To prepare a technical presentation advocating a product, service, idea, or course of action. To present your viewpoint logically and convincingly using an inverted pyramid approach. To effectively use the Microsoft PowerPoint with a laptop computer to illustrate your message. To effectively handle a question and answer period for a minimum of 30 minutes.
Wow.
Time is 8 to 10 minutes for speech, 3 to 5 minutes for the question period. Mr. Abdul-Razzaaq.
Abdul.
Well, I don't know. Well, I get talking.
If Otis was here, he would kill me. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, guests. We live in a very competitive world, yet we all want to be successful. We all want to be winners. So how do you stand out from the crowd? I'm going to give you a technique on how you can be very meritorious in all your endeavors. I have a proposal for you, and that proposal is to build your personal brand. The brand that is you. So let's define terms. What is brand? Well, we're going to define terms. We're going to define what is branding. We're going to define what is personal brand. We're going to say what it is to you. What is it? What's in it for you? And we'll go quickly over 8 steps on successful branding. What is branding? It's a trademark or distinctive name identifying a product, a service, or a manufacturer. Think about you want to look up something online, who you go to? Google. Christmas come around, toys, who do you think of? Toys R Us. These are some very successful branding campaigns. So for yourself, whatever service that you're going to provide, whatever product, ideally, when they think of your service, they want to think of you, your brand. And that's what we're going to work on. And that's what personal branding is. It's the art of standing out from the crowd. A strategic set of actions that one takes to distinguish or differentiate oneself from everybody else. Personal branding. And believe it or not, whether you're aware of it or not, we all are branded all the time. Jeff Bezos, he's the president of Amazon. I like how he puts it. Personal brand is what people say about you when you leave the room. That's your personal brand. So when I leave the room, and I'm sure you want people to say good things about you, right? What's in it for you? Your reputation is defined by your character, and your brand is defined by your character. With personal branding, you become an active partner in creating the direction for your life. You become an active partner for that. With personal branding, it allows you to communicate your unique promise of value. We all have a value that we have. With personal branding, you communicate that. And lastly, your legacy. Everybody remembers you through your actions, through your expertise, and through the emotional ties, emotional connections that we make. Personal branding. So, we're going to go over how we're going to do that. 8 quick steps. First thing you're going to do, you're going to define who you are as a person, what matters to you. What are your core values? What are your passions? What are your talents? What's your specific skill set? Define yourself first. That's the first step in your personal brand. Second, define your dreams and be specific about it. Whether they're personal, professional, write them down. Define what living means good, what good living means to you. What's the good life for you? Define that. Create a mission statement, just like we have our own right here for Toastmasters. Create one for yourself that expresses your, or that pushes your specific brand. That is you. And strategize about it. Build a bridge between who you are and who you want to be. And invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, be it seminars, books, tapes, lectures, coaching, mentoring, whatever it takes time to invest in yourself, invest in your brand. Thirdly, identify your target audience. Who you trying to impress? Who you trying to interest? Who you trying to look at you, to get to look at you? So recognize who they are, who you're trying to reach. Research your target audience and align yourself with that target market. Get your position statement, your unique position within that market. It's good to write it down as a statement. Recognize your barriers, because we all have them. Dr. Paul last week, you had to kill who? Self-doubt, remember?
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I even forgot about it now.
Change, people fear change. Shyness, that's a monster for me. Shyness, I had to conquer that. In Toastmasters, it's very helpful for me in conquering that barrier. Limiting ideas. Procrastination is a demon for me. If I can slay that joke, I'll be all right. But we have our own personal barriers that we need to get through to put forth our own personal brand and make our brand successful. Networking. You talked about networking, sir, right? You got to build and nurture your network. Get on out there in the community. Identify who you know and nurture your contacts. Get out of your comfort zone. You know, I had to get out of mine to come up in Toastmasters. And create or choose a particular networking group. Get on the circuit for the conferences and the conventions. I go to both of them. Give out business cards, resumes, and work your brand. Whatever it is, work your brand. Social media. LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. Anybody else on LinkedIn? All right, that's a good one. LinkedIn, Facebook. I always say this is wrong. Is it Twitter or Tweeter? Twitter. So build your network. Package. How you gonna package yourself? How you look matters. How you dress conveys information about you. It affects how you think about yourself, what you feel about yourself, how you speak, how you conduct yourself. And right or wrong, it affects how people think about you, how you dress. So whatever your market, your target market is, whatever your product or service is, make sure you dress appropriate for that. And make sure you're consistent. Don't have to be business. Could be like Don Samp, he's a writer. So whatever your target market is, whatever it is, make sure you dress appropriate for that market. Communication, you gotta communicate your brand. If it's job related, job environment, join some teams. Get in group presentations, help others, get on some committees. Communicate your brand. Out in the public, volunteer. Blog. Ken Petty, he has a newsletter. Write a newsletter, get in some workshops. Write some articles. We're all in Toastmasters, so let's join some, do some speaking engagements. Anything or whatever it takes to communicate your brand. Lastly, take action. Get an action plan. Get a list and check it twice. Do all the things you need to do in developing your personal brand. Your needs, your desires, your strengths, your education, all those things, and a marketing plan. So the job, get your plan on how you're going to approach your boss, or how you're going to interact with your co-workers. Identify costs. How much it's going to cost to invest in yourself, and what other kind of resources are out there that can help you in that. And chart your course, weekly, monthly, get a timetable. Keep current with your brand. And sometimes, we need a little tummy tuck-in or, a facelift. Your brand might need a lift. Sometimes we get a little stale, so check it out and see if you're current. So dear people, if you want to be successful, my proposal to you, step into success by building your personal brand. The brand that is uniquely you. Thank you.
Okay, we have the next 3 to 5 minutes to ask our esteemed speaker tonight some questions that you may have on how you can formulate your own brand. Raise a hand, please. Ms. McGee.
I have a question for you, Mr. Abdul.
Yes, ma'am.
Of the 8 steps to personal branding, which one do you think is the most difficult for people to overcome?
It all depends on your personality. For some people, it might be communication. I had to really define myself. Some people, self-analysis, they might have a little trouble with that. But for that, do a 360 analysis of yourself, get feedback from your family and friends, whatever it takes, really sit down in some quiet time, quiet space, and assess yourself and define who you are. That's step number 1. But then it all depends, as far as on the steps, it all depends on your particular personality, where you're gonna have some difficulties at. Yes, sir.
How do you know that your brand or your mission statement hasn't already been used by someone else? What would you do about that, or how would you find out? Is there a way?
It doesn't even matter, I don't think, because your mission statement is your mission statement. You can tweak it. It might sound similar to somebody else's.
So it's not like a domain name where you have to.
No.
It's different than a domain name.
It is your mission statement for your life. And you write it according to your desires, your needs, and your mission that you want to portray, or your endeavors, and like whatever successes that you want in your life, you write it down, and that's your mission. And that's your unique mission statement. It might be similar to somebody else's, but it's going to be similar, but it's not going to be exactly the same. Yes, sir.
So you made a comment that your brand is what people say about you when you leave the room. So how can you find out what your brand is in that regard?
Get some feedback.
Spy. Have a spy.
Well, yeah. Well, you don't want to do that, but that's. But try to get some feedback from people, from family, from friends. That's all I can really say. Get some feedback, because we all got a brand. I got a brand. Everybody say, what you call me, Mr. Dapper?
Yeah.
See, I'm interviewing every day.
Professional interviewer.
Professional interviewer. I have my own brand that I have to uphold. I went to a function today. I was a photographer for a golfing tournament. As soon as I got there, Abdul, he's here. I got my own brand that everybody identifies with, and he's cheerful. He got the energy. He's there. He's gonna take the pictures. It's gonna be a good product at the end. That's part of my brand. It's a business meeting usually, so he's gonna be dressed for business. That's part of my brand. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that appearance is a huge part of branding yourself. What would you say to someone who wants to maintain their individuality? I just saw a story recently about a young man who had to cut his dreadlocks off because of the job he applied for. how do you say, this is a part of his individuality, what do you say to someone who wants to be recognized for the person they are, but their individuality and their brand doesn't necessarily fit in with the work environment? How do you combine both?
That's a very good question. It all depends on how successful I think you want to be with that particular target audience. If you want to be very successful with that target audience, you're going to have to assimilate to.
So you say conform.
You may have to. You may have
If
to.
they have a dress code,
You may have to.
find
It
a
all
way to
depends.
get their dress code. Yeah.
Know the audience for
Huh?
sure. Know the audience for sure.
Right, right, right.
Because that could be perfect if you're willing to go into musician.
Yeah. And how well you want to stand out from your competition. If you want to stand out and separate yourself from your competition, you're gonna have to play the part or look the part.
How about judge me by my character, not by my dreadlocks? Where does that
Good
come into
luck.
play?
That's not the real world. We judge by
I'm
what we
playing devil's
see.
advocate, because it happens
Oh,
every
yeah, it
day.
happens every day,
Yes.
right? It's not right, you know, but it is what it is. Yes, sir.
When I worked for Enron, they had very specific, Fridays was business casual, but it got too casual. But they had to come out with a memo to say women can't wear tank tops or short shorts
Yeah.
or daisy, what do you call it? Daisy
dukes.
Daisy dukes. And the guys couldn't wear shorts and flip flops and sandals. I mean, and that sort of, to me, it's common sense, but they got really casual.
I agree. Thank you, sir. My time is up.
Very inspiring speech. Quite enjoyable, and I bet you there isn't one head out there right now not thinking,